Welcome to part 2 of Are You Addicted to Food? The answer is still no, but let's talk about chips. The nutrients that keep people full in food are fiber, water, protein, and fat. If you think about these addictive foods, they are rarely high in a combination of these nutrients. The mechanism of satiety is as follows. You eat food, it gets to your stomach stretches, and the activation of these stretch receptors sends a signal to your brain to tell your brain to shut off ghrelin and that you're full. This process takes about 20 to 30 minutes. Eating chips and expecting them to fill you up is exactly like trying to fill up a bucket full of water that has holes on the bottom. It's almost impossible. Unlike protein and fat, carbohydrate digestion begins in your mouth. So once this Cheeto hits my tongue, it starts dissolving. Salivary amylase. And then when I chew it up, by the time I swallow it, a lot of it is dissolved. Instead of getting to my stomach and needing to be broken down further, the majority of it is already broken down. So instead of getting into my stomach and taking up space and helping to stretch my stomach out, this food really isn't providing any volume to do that. So if I'm looking for Cheetos to fill me up, it's not going to work. They break down too fast. Protein and fat break down much more slowly, and fiber itself is physical bulk, and water, volume. Moving on. Cheetos are physically designed to make you keep eating them. No, the food industry is not trying to kill you. People who are not alive cannot buy products. They just want you to keep eating them. There's something called the Bliss Point. This was termed by food researcher Howard Moskowitz. It's basically the perfect flavor synergistic point of sugar, fat, and salt. Not too much flavor, but enough flavor that someone will enjoy the food and keep eating it. So these foods are designed to keep you eating them. Moving on. If these foods were addictive, two things would be true. Almost everybody would be addicted to them, and there would be one singular addictive component in all of these foods. And there's not. Here's some points made by Dr. Johannes Hebebrand. When someone takes a drug like an opiate, everyone who takes it has an altered state of mind after ingesting it. There's a direct effect. You take the drug, your central nervous system is affected. Whereas with food, there's no altered state of mind because he says there's no direct hit of a substance on the brain. Your brain releases chemicals in response to something, but there's no chemical directly impacting your brain. He also says that those who overeat respond to a variety of foods. It's not just chips, it's cookies, it's donuts, it's a lot of different things. It's a variety of tastes and textures. And because of this, you can't single out one specific chemical that's driving the addiction. It's a combination of things. Therefore, he thinks that it's the food industry and the fact that they pump out 20,000 new products every year, and the fact that this endless variety is one of the things that drives people to overeat. And guess what variety does? Makes our brain release dopamine. Lastly, not everybody is similarly affected by these addictive foods. Dr. Ashley Gerhardt at the University of Michigan, in their Food and Addiction Science Lab, states that if they were addictive, more people would be addicted. So there are other factors that determine people's behavioral response in regards to these foods, like genetics, family history, trauma response, socioeconomic status, and environment. So that's all I got for part 2. I hope you learned something.